Well, hello, my beautiful Pisces. Thank you so much for watching this video. Um, I was trying to get them in on time, but I have my birthday today, and so I'm going to be taking off for a couple of days. So I was trying to get all this work done. Welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including tarot, astrology, hypnotherapy, mediumship, all kinds of stuff to help you on your path. So, my gorgeous ones, let's see what's going on with you. I will be doing the extended videos. I won't be doing them till next week, but you can come back to this video and I will have the icon up at the top right. Yeah, at the top right corner where you can click on it and get the extended video for download. Okay, so let's talk about this month, the month of June. We have the water grand trine again. And so for you guys, and you have Neptune going retrograde this month for you. So for you guys, Pisces, this is in your first house, and then second, third, fourth, fifth house, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth house of belief systems, right? 10, 11, 12, 1. Yep. Okay, so just trying to make sure that I got the right houses. So this water grand trine, so grand trines, for those of you that don't know, have to do with a gift being brought to you, just sort of handed in your lap. This isn't something that you had to focus on, try to manifest, or put any work in. It was just going to come either way. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean that you weren't focused on it or you didn't put energy into it. Maybe because you're Piscean, you can feel the future. You can feel what's kind of the direction you kind of need to go in sometimes. And so maybe you started working on this, or maybe your focus was on this, or maybe you were like, I need to start looking at this. Like maybe you were doing that. I kind of feel that for some of you signs that were already sort of putting energy into this. But either way, it was going to come on your path. So, this water grand trine is a gift being brought to you that's going to fulfill you emotionally. If you look at the tarot, you have the Lover's card. But you have some stuff going on here too, and you have this Queen of Cups. So, I do feel like it's almost time for some of you to. Well, let me say this: for those of you that are in relationships or are dating, yeah, it's about understanding for you. But for others of you that haven't been dating but have been sort of open to it but are kind of scared of it because you didn't want to lose yourself again, but you started focusing on your work and being stable in that. You could have somebody coming in this month or next month. That's kind of what I'm seeing and feeling. Actually, feeling more than seeing. I haven't looked at your chart for next month. I also want to mention this, and I know you guys know this, but I'm trying to mention this in every video. If I'm talking about grand trines and trines coming and opportunities coming and you're not getting any of that, it isn't the chart. This is a general chart. These are the general energies. There could be aspects in your chart that's causing a different thing. I wouldn't know until I did your chart. I wouldn't know until we looked at it together. So that's the reason I offer my services, so we can look at your chart together, see what's transiting, see what's going on. And I'll have the icon up here if you want to order. So from the 1st to the 3rd of June, you have this water grand trine. You do have this opposition going on. I'm not going to go into deep because I get really into it. I get really into the aspects and the trines and the things that are really kind of coming in each of the houses, like really deep about what the houses mean and what could be coming up for you. I do that in that other video, in the extended video in the astrology part. And then in the tarot part, I do like 6 decks and 4 different spreads, and we really get into it. So that's going to be happening for you on the 1st through the 3rd. Then you have this trine here. So you have this trine with this moon. Now the moon doesn't stay there for long, but it does have to do with your 12th house and your 4th house, right? And so the 4th house is about your lineage, your understanding your DNA, it's more than that, but it has to do with that. Now your 12th house has to do with the hidden, right? And bringing hidden enemies forth, right? And maybe working alone, doing spiritual research or search. The 12th house has to do with endings and completions and fate and destiny. Now, you could be having sleep problems at this time, especially with Mars in there, because you could be feeling a lot of anxiety. But you could be having very, very powerful dreams right now. Just like this, when I was talking to Virgo, their North Node is in their 12th house. It's a lot like that with Mars, because Mars is trying to, Mars can, it's got that energy to, like, it wants to force, it wants to make you do, it wants to, like, it wants to take action, right? And so it could be doing it in your dreams, where it's where you're feeling really connected because that house is lit up, especially with the moon right here. And so you could be getting powerful answers to these questions that you're having. Um, so that, I don't want to go too far deep into what that is, but for when it Mars retrogrades, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let me talk about this. Okay, so this trine, it means opportunity. It means a gift as well. Okay, so this gift coming from your fourth house, Mars is, I mean, Mercury's in there and the sun is in there. Mercury brings messages. The sun wants to clear things up. Mars is that planet um, of drive, of it's warlike, it wants to take action, it likes to begin new things, right? So it could be that you're getting some clarity either through your dreams or even synchronicities, because the sun is out, through synchronicities having to do with why you are the way you are, where you came from, dealing with your siblings, any of that. That could be like this opportunity that comes to you, or this gift that comes to you, where it makes some sense, it gives you some clarity, and it makes you feel better, right? Okay, so that could be going on from the first through the third. Now on the fifth, um, the sun is really conjunct Mercury. So let's look at the fifth. Sorry. So on the fifth is when the sun conjuncts Mercury. So they're almost right on top of each other. So there is something coming in that fourth house. That could be dealing with um, who you are, where you're at, what you want, how come you do the things that you do, and how do you want to do them differently, where have you grown from, right? That's this fourth house thing going on. Again, I'm not explaining everything because I don't want to go in too deep. So you could be having something going on with that, but because this, the reason I'm mentioning it is because the square here. So this square with Neptune, which is in your first house. So Neptune's really doing its job in here. It's been in your first house. You're really, really connected to Source. You're really connected to your higher self. You're really connected to your angels. You're really connected to the other side, with Neptune being in there. And you're really connected to humanity on a whole. Now, maybe not individually, but humanity on a whole. Really trying to understand what that's about, with Neptune being in there. So maybe you've worked some things out, but it's going to go retrograde, where you're going to have to readjust, maybe reaffirm, organize. Maybe some things are going to be completed. But with this square here, there's something about who you are physically to what you are. Well, a lot of you don't know, but I used to be in genome medicine. So it's like who you are physically to what you are genetically, like who you are physically to what you are in your lineage. So there could be this square trying to get you to the same place, and this understanding that you're trying to have about, if I am the way I am, how can I incorporate that into my daily life, into who I am, and into the relationships I have. Like really being honest about who I am and being able to show that to the people around me. That's kind of what I'm feeling with that. That's not for everybody, but that could be going on for some people. Then you have this opposition with this North Node in your, so that's fourth, fifth, sixth house. And again, to your 12th house. So there's something about your 12th house. That's kind of why I feel like this is what it's about. It's like bringing that to your everyday health, well-being. Why am I so, like, some of you are having health issues. So why is it? Because how do I say this? I feel like, well, you guys are really evolved. So I feel like you understand that you can overcome some of these illnesses and diseases as long as you don't take claim to that identity of it. That makes sense? Okay. So you're trying to figure out how to overcome that, but you were looking at your life, and that's what you've been doing here. And here is looking at, and here, looking at your life, how to overcome this, how to get through this, how do I change this, what's really going on, because you're feeling so connected, right? So you know that there are bigger things at play. You're just trying to figure that out. Makes sense? Okay, I don't want to go too deep. All right, so on the 12th, this is when Mercury enters Cancer. On the 12th. Yep. Well, maybe it's the 13th for some of you, kind of. All right. So, oops. Let's see. So, 12th to 13th, Mercury enters Cancer, and it kind of depends on where you live. So this is the fifth house. So you could get messages about if you're writing, if you're vlogging, if you're in the media, if you're in any type of job where you communicate. This could be about, or like maybe you're trying to create a business about that. Maybe you're trying to create a business about healing. So I feel like on the 12th, when Mercury enters Cancer, it's bringing a message, right, about how you're doing this. So you could be getting some inspiration about this. Okay. So, and that's not for everybody, but maybe you've been working on a project and something comes through where you can move it forward, right? Okay. So then on the 13th is when we have also on the 13th, sorry. So on the 13th is when we have the new moon. So the new moon is about manifestation. So maybe you get this message and you realize where you want to go with this, right? So again, this is in Gemini, so it's going to behave in a very Gemini way, but it's opposing Saturn. So this has to do with it opposing Saturn has to do with the leadership skills. This is kind of what you've been working on in this house it's your 11th house, right? So this has to do with projects you've been really focused on. So whatever it is that you've been really focused on, Mercury. See how Mercury is going to oppose Saturn here, and then you have this new moon, and new moons are all about new beginnings, manifestations, trying to figure out where you want to go, how you see yourself in the next month. And I have videos about the new moon and the full moon and how to work in that energy. I always leave them either in the description box below or at the end of this video. So anything I talk about is always in those two places, one of those two places. Okay, so then on the 14th, yeah, a lot of you, this has to do with your health. So I know you've been focused on your work, but your health is coming into play here. And I don't really talk about health that much, but this is about your life changing. So, yeah, this is about your life changing. So, on the 14th, Venus is going to enter Leo, right? And so, this is in your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth house. This is why I'm talking about when Venus enters Leo, you have had the North Node in Leo, right? In your sixth house. So the North Node in your sixth house is about the life changes you can make for the world around you to make you feel better, to make you more healthier, to really create the world that you want, whether that's abundance, whether that's just peace, whatever that is for you. You've been trying to figure this out and you thought you had a hold of it, and then you had some mix-ups and you had some delays and you had some things going on, but that's because it went retrograde. And so now that Venus comes in here, it's going to bring you love, luck, and money with this, right? And so the sixth house is also about debt. So maybe you were dealing with some debt. So when Venus enters Leo in this North Node, whatever you've been working on, this is a lifestyle change. And this has to do, you could be having it, or let me say this, this could have to do with your health and how you can make those changes and how those changes do make a difference to help you feel better. It could have to do with debt, and Venus may bring you some money or bring you away or bring you some luck or bring you some love, something to do with the debt. But whatever this is about a lifestyle change for you. Okay, so that's happening on the 14th. So the 12th, 13th, the 14th are important for you guys. Now, on the 18th, this is when, well, some of you it's the 19th. So on the 19th or the 18th, depending on where you live in the world, Neptune is going retrograde, right? And so when Neptune goes retrograde for you, this is really important and you're going to feel the effects of it. Even though Neptune is an outer planet, it has to do with generation. I understand where astrologers say that, but this group is very powerful and feels a lot of different energies. So this could, even though it's a bigger outer planet. It has to do with the some of the subconscious and whatever, all of that. You still are conscious about it. I feel like y'all are open. I feel like you're evolved. I feel like you understand. I feel like you can actually go into Neptune and step into that energy and have it work with you. Like I feel like that for you. Like that's how aware you are. So for you guys, I feel like you will be dealing a lot with this. And so, with it being in your first house and going retrogrades, all retrogrades are always about amending, organizing, editing, revising, understanding, and sometimes completions. It's about all of that, right? And so, with it being your ruling planet, you are going to feel it a lot, but this could be about you because Neptune has been in here, and honestly, when I'm looking at this whole chart of what's really going on with you, Pisces, I'm seeing that you are so evolved and you know how to see all possibilities. Like like you know how to go into the field, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, the energy field, and you know how to see different possibilities. Like you know how to step into that. What you get confused with is to actualize it and bring it to the physical, right? Because you see all the possibilities and then you're like, well, I saw the possibilities and maybe I don't want to bring them here. Like, and so sometimes you get so lost in all the possibilities and the feelings of those possibilities that it's a little bit hard for you to sometimes think, well, why do I have to why do I have to do so much work to try to bring it to the physical, right? But what you will come to understand is that you've always, when you're in between lives, you're always able to do it. You're always able to be in the field and feel these things happening, but you've come here in these lives to understand how to physically manifest those things, right? Physically make those dreams and those hopes and those relationships and those physical things come forth, right? And so you're learning that if you take action, the way to bring it is to take action and stay focused. And when you do that, that becomes actualized or physical. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not going too deep. I'm trying not to go too deep. I can't help it. Okay, so that's what Neptune in Pisces for you retrograding is about. It's about understanding you with everybody else and you with your own identity. Like when I said that whole story, some of the reason that you won't actualize it is because you like the fact that we're all one, right? And so that's Neptunian, that's Piscean. But in this physical world, we came to be an identity as well as part of the one. And that's what you're trying to understand, the balance of that. The balance of I can be in the world and I can also be my own identity. I can be part of the whole, but I'm still part of me. That makes sense? I hope it makes sense. So that's what you'll be working on as Neptune goes retrograde. Actually, this whole world is going to be working with that stuff. Okay, so then on the 21st, see, this is why I like to do them on my website because I can go deeper. But I have to watch the time here. So on the 21st, the sun enters Cancer. And the sun entering Cancer, it's going to be a very sensitive time for people. So just be aware of that. The sun entering Cancer and then having Mercury. Mercury's bringing a message. Again, Venus is going to be working with your North Node. And this is in your sun entering Cancer in your 5th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the sun entering Cancer in your 5th house. Remember that 5th house is about the thing that you're creating, the thing that you're trying to understand. And when the sun comes in there, he aligns everything. He brings brightness. He wants to light it up. He wants to give you clarity. And then Mercury being in there, you could have had some messages to help you move forward, to help you understand that, hey, I really did work on this, and hey, it really is manifesting. So I do see some manifestations coming through for you guys. Then on the 23rd, so this month is all about you guys understanding that if you just keep your eye on the prize, you can manifest much easier than you think. But it has to do with your worthiness too. So on the 23rd, this is when the sun conjuncts Uranus. And I'm going to do that Uranus series on my website. But Uranus being in your third house, when it conjuncts Uranus, this is about understanding consistency. But there's an opportunity here in your third house and your fifth house. So you could get something. So something that you worked on from the 12th, 13th, and 14th, where we were talking about the message that you got, the inspiration you got from your fifth house, that could actually there could be an opportunity to make that come through on, but that's not the only, I mean, that's for some of you, that's not for everybody. So you have this opportunity coming through in your fifth house of love affair, because it could be somebody coming. It could be somebody to come to date. It could be somebody to fall in love with. And for some of you, it could be something having to do with this thing that you're creating, right? And so on the 26th is when Mars retrogrades. So let's look at the 26th. And Mars is going to be retrograde to August 26th or 27th? 27th, I think. But you're not really going to feel the effects till like September, October. You'll feel some effects, but it's not really going to break through till September, October. And so during this time when Mars retrogrades, it's going to be retrograde in your 12th house. And I talked a little bit about the 12th house. And so this could be a time where you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort into this thing and you're not getting much results. But what you're really doing is you're planning and you're making that a habit. That's what you're doing. So you could be dealing with secret enemies coming forth. You could be dealing with siblings in this house. And when Mars gets in here and retrogrades, this is about you. It's giving force to those things that you're trying to create. Understanding that consistency will bring it forth. Understanding that, I mean, like you guys do this at work. You can get into that space where you're at work and you get it done, right? So, but what happens is in relationships, you might not do that. Yeah, relationships, romantic or otherwise, you may not do that. Partnerships, you may, you know, not take the actions needed to take, or not have the consistency needed to have to make the relationship work. And I'm not saying that's for all of you. I'm just saying that's kind of what I'm getting. So this could be what this is about. So then on the 28th, so on the 28th, this is when we have the Capricorn full moon, and this is in your 11th house. And in the extended video, I'll do the 11th house and exactly what that's been meaning for you guys and what this is about. So it's going to be in your 11th house of gains, of social networking, of all of that, right? And so Saturn's been in there trying to make you really, really work hard to understand that although you don't need people, you do want people. And there are people there that can love you and help you instead of you trying to help everybody else, right? And then when somebody wants to help you, you sort of shy away or you feel guilty, right? And so that's what this Saturn has kind of been helping you understand and making you work at. And then Pluto as well. Pluto will bring stuff up. If you keep doing the same habit but you want a different place, Pluto will bring that up for you so that you can change that habit. So with this full moon, this is about letting go of things that no longer serve you, old habits that no longer serve you, right? And so as it does that, it's opposing the sun, again, having to do with your fifth house, having to do with relationships, with love affairs, with beauty, with owning you, with the things that you really want to create from your heart. But sometimes you forget what that is because you're either empathic or you're so used to doing for everybody else that you forget what you want, right? And so that's what this is about. This full moon is about letting these things go. So whatever this full moon is about for you, Chiron here is, and it's T squared. So Chiron here, so this has to do with this old wound. And for me, when I'm looking at this has to do with old wounds of you feeling worthy. Am I worthy enough? Do I believe in myself enough to be able to attain that beautiful love that I think that I can have? that beautiful, abundant life that I think that I can have, that those beautiful inspirations that I get in my head, but I don't want to tell the world because I'm afraid that they'll judge me. Like those things, that's Chiron. And again, I have a Chiron video. You can go look at that. I'll have it either at the end or in the description box below. This will help you understand how Chiron works and what you're trying to understand through it. Okay? So, last thing is on the 29th, and I have the full moon and the new moon video too. So on the 29th, Mercury enters Leo. This is going to be a better time for everyone. So as Mercury enters Leo, this is in your 6th house. So he brings a message to your North Node. Venus is still in there, so you'll be getting gifts. And this has to do with your everyday life, with how you're trying to create your world. What is your worthiness? How can you still keep your identity and still be in balance with others, right? What is the answer to all of this that you're trying to understand, right? And again, I want to work with people, I want groups around me, but there are times when they take too much from me. And how am I going to learn to do that? That's kind of what this is about. That's not for everybody, but that's a kind of general thing that's going on. All right, my gorgeous ones, let's look at your tarot cards reading. Okay. I'm really excited for all of you. But for some of you, I know it's time. Some of you have gone like 2 years, 3 years without a partner. And it's really that time for you. So in the month of June, you have the Lovers. So the Lovers is about a karmic. And let me say this because I can feel everybody clench when I said karmic. The Lovers to me is a karmic card. But karma doesn't have to be a bad thing. Karma can be the things that you've done before, and now you get to reap the benefits of it, right? And so, if this is about somebody has come into your life or somebody's about to come into your life in the month of June, this could be that you've learned these other lessons, and maybe this lesson now is to learn to be in a partnership, in a relationship where you're not giving everything, and neither are they giving everything, but both of you are giving it in balance. Maybe that's the lesson, right? Whatever this is, what happens is, for me with the Lovers, is this person that comes in or this situation, you two get through a lesson and then you decide, do I want to stay or do I want to go? But maybe you're supposed to live the rest of your life with that person, and that's the lesson, right? Is to understand a partnership, a relationship, being self-identity as well as connected to the group, right? And so that could be happening for you in the month of June. This is your challenge, and this is exactly what I was saying. Your challenge, your spirit's advice, is the 9 of Coins. This person is not alone. In the past, in old tarot decks, she was thought of as single, right? Very independent, has gotten her own because she worked so hard at it. She stands tall. She knows what she wants. She gets what she wants because she goes after it. But she's very kind and she's very gentle, and she knows when to let go of things as needed, right? And so your challenge, but this person does have somebody, but when they have their king, their queen, their emperor, their empress, their partner, they have them because they want them there, because they understand this special 1 and 1 makes 3, right? That there's something bigger involved. So, and it doesn't mean there's something bigger involved, so I have to stay and I have to give everything. No, it's they want them there. They don't need them there. They don't need to fix them. They don't need them to fix them, her or him. So this person, this is your challenge. Being able to stand on your own and still have a relationship. Being able to have your self-identity and your identity with your partner, right? So to me, this challenge is about you standing on your own, is about you really having your boundaries and keeping to your word of your boundaries and taking the actions needed to take. Like for all of you that, and not everybody, but for some of you that haven't had a partner, you'll have a partner exactly when you're wanting a partner. There's something in your life that's saying that you don't want a partner right now. Otherwise, you would have a partner. So what is that for you? And that's your challenge. Now, in your third position, this is your fate destiny. So you have the Lovers, you have this person as your challenge, and this person, if he is or she is the person that's coming in, they're very independent, and they're not going to be in your life because they need you. They're going to be in your life because they want you. They want to love you. They don't need you to fix them. They want to love you. That's it. They enjoy you. They want to see where this goes. Some of you, they want to live the rest of their life with you because they want to enjoy and relish in the moments, not needing to fix. Okay? So, your destiny, your fate is this Queen of Cups. For some of you, this is you understanding. The Queen is very intuitive, extremely empathic, sometimes psychic, but what happens is she will acclimate and adapt to those in front of her, so she mirrors them, and she becomes exactly what they're wanting and needing. And in that, sometimes she loses herself if she's not centered, because she will begin to do things because they want to do it, thinking that she wants to do it. That makes sense. So she will do it out of habit because she's so used to mirroring them that she forgets what she really wants, right? So that's this Queen, extremely empathic, extremely intuitive, but having to always stay centered. That's you, the Queen, having to always stay centered and clear, right? Now, for others of you, this is this person coming in. This person will want to mirror you. I will say that again. This person will want to mirror you. So, what are they going to mirror, right? Are you solid? Are you okay? Are you always depressed? Or are you always happy? Or are you always letting your boundaries down? Because they are going to mirror you. That's what this person's coming in to do. They want to be with you, but they will mirror you because like attracts like. Okay? So, understand that that's a possibility, but for some of you, if you're centered and you've been working, which a lot of you have been working on yourself, and you know what you want, and you've broken some of those habits and put in new habits, then what you're attracting is this beautiful, beautiful relationship that you knew that you could see in the matrix that you're bringing down or in the field, right? So this could happen in the month of June. In the fourth position is what's going to be going on all month. I see happy times. You're not done. It's a 3. It's not a 9. It's not a 10. But it's happy times. This is celebration. This is celebration with your friends, with a new lover, maybe some with family. Whatever this is happier times in the month of June. You've been working really, really hard on trying to figure out, who am I? Who am I with everybody else? Can I still keep my identity? Can I keep focused on my work? Can I, am I worthy enough to have what I think that I have, what I think that I see in the other universes, right? Does that all make sense? So, my gorgeous ones, I'm sending you lots of love and light. I love you dearly. Thank you so very much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next week. Bye.